Yeah, it's been longer than I'd like since I've told you guys a story. So, I can make some excuses, but I made them all before, and I might as well just jump right in. You know, I started this whole channel with some relationship stories. I've done how my wife and I met, and how we went on our first date. So this video is going to cover another milestone in any serious relationship, which is meeting the family. Because whether you like it or not, your family is part of your life. You're never going to get rid of them. It's impossible. You could drive to the other end of the solar system, and you still get a call from your mom asking you to look over your brother's resume or something like that. So, family, you're just not gonna get away from them. And when you're with someone, you gotta be at least able to tolerate their family. My wife and I dated about 2 months before I met her family. And for those 2 months, I was her secret. For 2 months. No one knew about me. And, you know, if I look back on it now, I can't lie. I did the same thing. We were new. As you know from my videos, I am just this little hedgehog. And I used to roll up in my little ball and hide from the world and just, you know, just shield myself from everything. And, well, turns out my wife was the same way, so we didn't know what was going on. We just uncurled from our ball, and we're now out in the world of this relationship. We didn't know what to do with it. We didn't know where it was going to go. We didn't know what was going on, so it was just confusing and terrifying, but I guess exciting. Why did those 3 words go in common? I don't know, but my wife stepped me into her family slowly. Like tortoise in the hare, you know how the tortoise won the race, but you know, that was because he had endurance. Now imagine it was the tortoise, the hare, and the snail. And I can't think of anything slower than a snail other than the hours of 1 to 3 in high school in that last block class. First person I met was her god brother. Not even blood family, just someone she felt safe, I guess, and it was like, yeah, I'm introducing him to my family. It's my god brother. Well, I mean, if he doesn't like him, what's the worst that could happen? I guess that was her her view on this. So we went slowly, met him, met some cousins, met her sister a while before I met anyone else, and she put their hand on the Bible and swore them to secrecy. One week, she comes up to me a few days before the weekend and says, look, I've planned it out. You're going to meet all the major family in one day. I planned it out to where all the interactions are going to be nice and short, nice and just get in, introduce yourself, talk for a minute, get out, boom, clean and quick, no mess. Sounds good on paper, but when does a plan ever work out like that? Saturday comes, and she wakes me up at 6:37 a.m. It's a Saturday. I stayed up the entire night before playing video games. So, waking up at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday isn't my idea of fun. When I get up, I drag my groggy butt out of bed, I get dressed, I get into the car, we drive an hour to her old hometown. The first person we go see is her dad. Now, as any guy knows, meeting the dad is one of the most stressful parts of a relationship. Because honestly, you expect the whole routine the minute you walk through the door. And the way she described her dad kind of led me to believe that was going to be that situation. But Thankfully, her dad works nights. So that means when we got there, he was going to bed, and he was too tired to really give me the full interview, full interrogation. So I had to skip the whole for that day, thanks to her careful planning. So then I met I think I met her grandfather after that. And then we went, which went fine. There was nothing special about it. Then we went over to her grandmother's house. Her grandmother was just so sweet and so accepting of everything that was going on. She didn't question that it had been a secret. She didn't question anything. Just, hi, nice to meet you. Everything was perfect. Well, the reason we stayed at our grandmother's longer than anyone else was because my wife knew on that day that her mother, who I had yet to meet, was going to be driving there for a visit. Remember how I mentioned earlier that her dad terrified me? Her mother did the same thing, just the way she was described. Ex-military, super organized, had this... My wife, let me tell you this part. My wife came over the day before we went. Came over to my dorm with a laundry list of just this tome of questions that she knew her mother was going to ask. And she drilled me over and over and over until I knew every single answer to every question so I could rattle them off on my sleep. Because basically, I would have to, because I'm not going to be able to think in that situation. Like, some of the questions made sense. Like, what's your future job going to be? What do you plan to do? How many kids do you want to have? That seems like a question I should have had with my now wife, but apparently her mom wanted to know first. But then there were questions like, what's your license plate number? And I was just thinking, like, is she going to run my plates? Is she going to run my plates and try to do a criminal background check on me? Who is this person? So that's what I had, all this churning, some mad concoction of ideas in my head of how this was going to go, and I was sweating bullets. On my wife's grandmother's couch, my future mother-in-law walks through the door, ignores me for a full 20 seconds, didn't even realize I was there, went up, talked to the grandmother, and I was thinking, what do I do here? Do I get up and introduce myself? Do I wait? Do I wait for my wife to do it? So I thought, I'm going to get up, and halfway out of my chair, just like this, all eyes, her eyes, my mother-in-law's eyes just lock in on me. And I'm frozen like a deer in the headlights. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. Hedgehog. To preface this, I'm going to tell you the exact words that came out of my mother-in-law's mouth the first time she ever saw me. To preface this, if you didn't know already, my wife is African American. So yeah, the first words out of my mother-in-law's mouth to me, well, not to me, but just in my presence, were, Mama, what's this white boy doing in your house? And that was the first inkling I got that this is gonna go amazing. Oh, and my wife though, she was amazing. She was so helpful. She hid in the kitchen. She ran to the kitchen faster than Usain Bolt. She just right into the kitchen to hide. So I was just left alone to face this obstacle. About halfway through this interrogation, imagine playing 20 questions, but, in an interrogation room on, in NCIS or CSI, with, this light that's on me right now. Just imagine just right here glaring in your face like the surface of the sun. So basically that's why I was playing. I was playing 20 questions on the surface of the sun for about 20 minutes before she decided to walk in. And we faced it together, and we introduced ourselves as a couple for the first time to her mother. And all in all, I think it went pretty well. Because, it has to. Because it's a first impression, and you gotta make a good first impression or nothing's gonna go well. in a relationship, especially with the parent that your significant other happens to be living with at the moment. That was how I first met my in-laws. So that's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like this video. If you want to see other things in the future or check out my other videos, please subscribe. Please. I'll be ever so grateful. Please subscribe and check out my Facebook and Wattpad and things like that. There are links on my homepage. This is Benji the Brilliant signing off. Have a great day.